Did you click on this video to make your weapon of choice perform as you want it to have a decent ADS time, and of course a controllable recoil? Then you clicked on the right video. But please, ladies and gentlemen, do not click off the video too soon, because there is a lot of good information for you so you can choose the best attachments for your gun to make it perform the way you want it to. Before we start, I want to demonstrate how the Scar H performs without any attachments. So this is the recoil. And this is me trying to control it. Let's do that again. Okay, got a bit lucky there. Let's do that again. 3 times the charm. As you just noticed, this gun bounces around a lot, and we are hoping on luck more than skill to hit our shots. But let's get straight into the weaponsmith, and I'm gonna explain everything you need to know to make your gun perform as good as it can be. Alright boys and girls, here in the gunsmith with the fully stocked Scar H. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I'm gonna explain the statistics of a weapon. Any weapon. So do not skip ahead, because this is very important information. So let's click on the random attachment. Do not install it yet, because we need to go into details, because then we will be able to see the changes that will apply when we apply the attachment. So now let's explain damage. Damage is simply you got 26 damage. This will only be affected by range, right? So we got plus 12 range. All right. So if you go back into detail, what does this mean? It means, for example, if I shoot someone at 50 meters, it's gonna hit for 26 in the chest. When I shoot someone for 60 meters, for example, that damage is gonna drop off at 52, right? Which is not a big of a drop off. So that's why the Scar H is very good, because at, I think this is 90 meters, it still holds like 90% of its damage. So then we have control. This is basically what controls your recoil. So if you want your weapon to have less recoil, stack control, which is gonna be one of the main stats we're gonna use, of course. Then handling. Handling will change your ADS speed, sprint to fire delay, ADS movement speed, walking speed, sprint speed. So that will be your handling. Everything to do with speed and ADS and movement. Then stability is a very tricky one. Stability is something that reduces flinch. So if somebody shoots you, you will not shake as much as it would be with negative, right? It also affects your breathing. So if you hold your breath, you will be able to hold your breath longer. You will be able to use that stability shooting with holding your breath for a longer period of time. It will also help the weapon shake when you fire continuously. So for example, if you mag dump, if you hold mouse button 1 without letting it loose, it will help with the shakiness of your weapon. Then we have the misinformation one. A lot of people think from the get-go, like when they first launch a game, you need to stack accuracy, because in most games, more accuracy means a better firing weapon, like when you're aimed down sight. But here it's different. Here it controls your hip fire. So that will be the only effect you will gain if you add hip accuracy. So if you're not going for a hip fire build, totally ignore this stat, because this is irrelevant. Now let's modify this weapon to perform to our liking. Let's start off with the barrel, which is one of the important ones. Let's click on the practical long range barrel, because this is a no-brainer. This gives us 12 meters, 9 control and 4 stability. Again, we go into details before we click install, and then we can see the things that will change when we apply this attachment. So let's install that one. Let's go into calibrations. The most important thing is firing stability is going to be extra recoil. Muzzle velocity or ADS speed, again, depending what you want, but let's go for muzzle velocity, because it's going to be much easier for us to hit our targets from a distance when they're running. So for the muzzles, we want to go for control again, and if possible for stability or handling as a bonus. You can see here control and accuracy. So accuracy, again, we didn't care about accuracy as that affects hip fire. This is not going to be hip fire build. This is an interesting one. Extra horizontal control. What that means, you can quickly go into details and look it up for yourself. You go into control, which is the stat we're increasing. You can see here the current multiplier of vertical recoil multiplier is just the same as it was. It's only going to affect your horizontal recoil. So horizontal recoil is a lot harder to control, but you can see it is not that of a difficult spread. We can always change that later if we wanted to. Then you have the same deal here, but for vertical recoil, extra vertical recoil. So if you have a weapon that has a very, very hard punch that goes up a lot, you need to take one of these guys or try out one of these guys to see how it performs. But I think I'm gonna go for this one for the sake of this video. Full-on control build, install. So for the grips, it's a very interesting one because one of the grips will give you an extra slot. This one, some people will miss it. This one gives +1 control, +1 handling, and +1 stability. So if we install, this will unlock the grip mount. So the grip mount will give you other stats as well. So this is an extra slot you can play around with if you want to further customize your weapon to your liking. Maybe this will be an option for you. And then if we go for this one, this gives us 3 control and 7 handling. So it's either going to be this one for extra handling, or it's either going to be this one. It's going to be either this one for extra stability, or it's either going to be this one for extra handling. We can change that around in the future, but let's go for the full-on stability build. So let's install this. We can further calibrate this one to our liking as well. So moving stability and extra control, of course. And then we are going to go for this one. So we're going to lose a little bit of handling, but we can still change that around if we want to later. So there we go. We are going to go for the 30 round mag so we don't lose a whole bunch of stats here. So let's install that. Again, we unlock a mag mount. So this will actually increase our handling again. So let's install that one as well. This is no brainer. It's a free handling. Now for the stock, another very important one. So we have a few options here. Again, we need control, handling, and stability, preferably. Alright, for stock, and let's try and find one for control because we want less recoil. And as you can see, we have a little bit less control than stability. So stability is kind of good now. So let's see here. We have handling +6 and control +6. This is a very good stock. I've used this on a lot of my builds. Then we have this one, but we lose some ADS movement speed. It's gonna hurt us in close range fights. So then we have this one, stability, but this one gives us a lot of handling back that we lost. And let's go back into details and let's see that. So we go from a 378 milliseconds to 341 milliseconds again. If you change stocks, sometimes calibrations are different. So firing stability is control, extra control is control. So this is basically a control monster here. The grip also has vertical recoil and horizontal recoil options, but let's see if we can find a normal control one. But just for demonstration purposes, let's take the RK04 grip. Before installing it, let's go into control. You can see how tightly this spread is now. Very impressive. So maybe we'll take that one. And then we also have this one. I think, yeah, this gives us the same extra vertical recoil, but it gives us 6. Install it. Calibrate it, moving stability, control. Again, check out the different calibrations on different attachments because sometimes they change. Then all we need to change now is the sights here. But to gain some handling, we are gonna riser stack, right? So we got +1 handling, and we unlock another riser option in here. We stack another riser, which gives us another 2 handling. This will offset our handling we lost with the sight we are going to put on. So let's put on a red dot here. And then what I like to do, because this looks very weird, I like to put a laser right here. Now if you look to the gun, it doesn't look weird that the red dot is all the way up here. It says minus handling. It shows this one in the statistics, but if you look closely, when laser light combo is active, you will gain handling, accuracy, and allows a tactical holding stance. That's like when you hold your weapon sideways. So keep this on at all times when you are in the game. It's barely visible to the enemy players, so it doesn't even matter. So all that is left for us to do is add the hand guards. We got 4 options here: accuracy, control, handling, and stability. We're going to go for full control because we want as little recoil as possible. Again, let's go into details before applying it. You can see it's getting tighter and tighter as we put on more of these. I think on this setup we can put on 3. So and then there's one left here. Here. And then let's click on that one. Okay, so then this should be the end build. Let's test out this gun, but do remember how it performed in the beginning of this video when I demonstrated it without any attachments. I am going to try and control the recoil as much as possible. So here we go. Alright, now the 100 meters, and this is pushing the limits of this weapon. Of this build, I mean, but you can see it still performs. If by any chance the horizontal recoil is a bit too much for you, you can still change the grips or the muzzle to the extra horizontal recoil control option. Check. 50 is the sweet spot, 100 meters is pushing it, and of course the close range. And I think the ADS speed is decent enough. I could just give you the code for a weapon and you will be happy with how it performs if you want that same gun as in one of the videos. But then again, if you want to make your own, you need to know what you're doing. And by making this video, I hope I helped you guys out with that. If it helped you out, feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know how it worked for you. And also, while you're in the comment section, feel free to drop me a like and or subscribe to my channel because it really helps out and I would love to reach the 2K mark at the end of the year. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys, possible gals, in the next one. Bye-bye.